Hello and welcome to Star Citizen Sunday with me, Ryan, aka Mac. This is a weekly show which covers everything from the world of Star Citizen over the past week. Links to everything discussed can be found in the description below, so let's get on with it. So, I am back from Germany and it's time to get back into Star Citizen. This week we'll have a two-parter, the first part bringing us the latest news from the week just gone. Part 2 will be the news from the week prior. So this week's 10 for the developers was Brian Chambers all on his lonesome. First question is, can you explain a bit about creating the first procedural location and its look and feel? And he said the first planet was nothing aesthetically pleasing, just about the technology involved. They're trying to get the whole system up and running. After that, an environmental artist will come in and he'll make it look much nicer. Plus he will come up with what limitations there are so they know for the future. They have made huge progress already. They say it is completely unique to what they have ever seen before, and it is sounding very exciting. So next question, how will the definition of procedural planet generation work? Is it a set of random seeds, or will artists define where land and water is? And he says it's a bit of both. First they decide what type of planet, and then adjust the parameters of what that planet should look like. There will be lots of artist control which they feel is essential, so it can have a fine level of detail rather than just producing a planet and letting us explore. It's got to be quality over quantity, even though there is a lot of quantity too. So next question, what tech challenges still remain before Cloud Imperium are comfortable to add procedural generation or procedural generated planets to an upcoming patch? Now they say they're in the process of incorporating what they have so far in procedural generation with everything else. Now it's more mature, they're seeing a lot of progress, but they want to be able to see what blows up first. They knew there will be some issues and they are working on those. So once it's solid and decent to play, then they will hand it over to us. They have been playing with a build with 2 procedural planets where you take off from one, fly for 5 minutes, and then you begin to see the other planet, and then you fly for another 5 more minutes until you eventually reach that planet, and that is literally the highest speed they can get to. So they need to figure some stuff out first. Obviously, they don't want to take hours and hours to get between planets. Although I don't think 5 minutes is really a big deal. I would be happy to set my ship into cruise mode and just wait 5 minutes and wander around. Anyway, that's me. Who knows? Next question is, will we have a better blend of the player being in the room and simply have animated characters? Or is it going to be more of a Metal Gear Solid style with long cutscenes and little interaction? This is regarding Squadron 42. Now they say there will be a good mix of interactions, not long and drawn out like Metal Gear Solid. Cutscenes were designed to have a lot of variety on how they play out. So there is a lot of fully interactive cutscenes. They will feel fluid and seamless, and the player will have choice, but the AI won't pause and just hang around waiting for you to make that choice. Next question, where is CIG at with their AI? And they say there's nothing too new to point out. They're making good progress. They've got a large amount going on with AI. Subsumption is one of them. They want to set it up properly right now so that it's easier for the future. They have 9 people meeting in Frankfurt to discuss AI, and they're making huge advancements, taking time to get it completely solid. Second to last question, how much of the procedural world tech can we expect to see in a single player campaign? And they're still sorting it out. Squadron 42 is more linear as you can expect. Procedural planets are not really necessary, but they could use it to be more efficient. They're not sure yet, but maybe just use to set the terrain up rather than discover new things. So they may use parts of it, but it's not going to be like you'll see in the persistent universe. So final question, what is Cloud Imperium's approach regarding DX12? Now they're actively looking to adopt a new graphics API. Obviously there's Vulkan as well. DX compared to Vulkan are very, very different, but they want to take advantage, and they have started remastering the rendering and the engine, plus a lot more. Way over my head. They are concerned with future-proofing, so rest assured they will figure it out and they will make sure that it's the best it can possibly be. Anyway, that was 10 for Brian Chambers. Let me know your thoughts. So on Around the Verse, episode 2.35, they pointed out that those who have picked up a Buccaneer will receive a Bearing C788 ballistic cannon. Also, the Dragonfly is the next concept sale, which is the space motorcycle. We'll hear more about that later in Reverse the Verse. Straight on to news from Around the Verse, starting with the CIG LA office. They are working on white boxing and moving on to the grey boxing for the Buccaneer. So that's going to come along very, very quickly, I would think. They're also working on the interior modules for the Caterpillar. That cannot come quick enough. And network stability and procedural planetary interactions are being worked on also. CIG in Austin, they are looking past 2.4 and looking at selling things. Obviously we have buying at the moment, but they want to complete the loop with buying and selling. They're also working on commodities. They've got a full list of all the things to sell and buy. These are elements, minerals, livestock, grain, so on and so forth. There's going to be a huge list of stuff, all of which as space truckers can get a hold of. Foundry 42 in the UK, they're talking about the future of the persistent universe. They've got a pirate base coming up ASAP. It is the pirate version of Port Olisar. They're also working on hairstyles for Squadron 42 and the Persistent Universe, and they have the female base model done. They're just getting it polished. So, Frankfurt, they've got many big people there at the moment, including Chris Roberts himself. They're talking about AI and cinematics for Squadron 42, which obviously it's coming close. End of this year is what Squadron 42 is supposed to be promised for release. They want us to be living throughout the game rather than just big cutscenes and taking us away from the action and from the character's eyes, I suppose. So they want it to be as if we are in the shoes of the character. AI will react to your actions, which is very, very cool. So if you do something, if you turn away from them or pick up a glass while they're talking, or while they're waiting for you to talk, they will see that as rude and react to you in an appropriate way. Anyway, the ATV interview this week is with Jim Martin, who is a concept artist. Do follow the links if you are interested. Lawmaker's Guide to the Galaxy is the Davian system. Now, this is one of 2 systems directly connected to the Sol system. There are no more systems connecting to us, to Sol. It is notorious for customs standards because it's an important trade route between Sol and Terra. In the middle is a K-type main sequence star. It was discovered in 2430. It's got 4 planets. Davian 4 is an ice giant. It's the first meeting between the human and the Banu. Davian 3 is a terrestrial smog planet. Davian 2, or Sestalus, is the heart and soul of the system, home of Aegis dynamics, and Jada, which is the main city, is covered in biodomes. I do suggest watching that fully because it is full of information that would be just builds the system for us. So MVP goes to 10 people this week. I'm not going to read them all out, but they have created a very cool series called Bulkheads. Episode 1 is available with the link below. Very, very awesome stuff. I do hope this becomes a full series. I will be tuning in. And the ATV fast forward finally is the EVA FPS combat. It's looking pretty smooth, a lot of fun. So in Reverse the Verse this week, they started off by mentioning that Big Benny's is getting some merchandise, which is coming soon. We've got patches and a couple of t-shirts being designed. With 2.4, which is now live, they say they were struggling with network issues, but it sounds like they've got them fixed as it is released to everyone. The Starfarer Gemini, and the Reliant Core are back on sale. $300 for the Starfarer, $340 for the Gemini, and $65 for the Reliant Core. The Drake Dragonfly will be out next week. This is your motorcycle style ship. It's going to be $35, which is very cheap. Apparently it's smaller than the P-72 and the P-52 as well. They will have a bulk buy pack, so if you want to buy more than one, you can probably save some money there. We'll have a teaser next week as well. Sort of a Harley Davidson inspired images. And also, if you can draw what your impression of the Dragonfly is and post it to the link below, then you could stand a chance of winning a Dragonfly. Also, the Schumann mining contest winners have been announced. The top 5 will get an Orion, and the runners-up, the top 5 runners-up, will get a Prospector. So, onto the Q&A. I'll just fire them off. Are there plans to sell Idris P Battlefield upgrade kits? And they say no. Any of the ships on sale after the 2.4 sale? They say no, it's just the newly released ships. Will there be new things to buy in 2.5? They say the code is not locked in, but there most certainly will be, but they just can't say anything yet. Question after that is regarding ejection seats and whether they are needed or not, and if there's a specific reason why some ships don't and some do. They say it's not 100% essential, it's all about trade-offs. The new female model that we saw, they're asking about her face and who it was, and they say it's just a placeholder, it's not finished, so they have no idea it's going to get updated. In regards to the Starliner, it's on a schedule, so it's coming up in the plans, but it's not been started yet. And in terms of variants, they want to get the base model complete first before they even look at variants. Someone asked whether there'd be any more new mouse pads coming. They say, we have just received the last one, which I've just received the Anvil one. End of summer or beginning of fall is when we're likely to see the next one. There's no new Caterpillar news, although there will be some real soon. They're sharing some stuff with the release of the Dragonfly, some sort of neat video as well, which sounds very, very cool. Question after that was about Gamescom. They say they are going to have the first show floor booth. It will look very cool. They'll be there for all the 5 days on the show floor, and they'll be unveiling a new ship as well, apparently, which is going to be exciting. No updates to the Carrack or the 300 series, unfortunately, although after they finish the Caterpillar, they will move on to the Carrack. In terms of there being a beacon on a person so that friends can find you when you're trapped, lost in space somewhere, they say anything along the lines of rescuing will need to be sorted out first. They haven't looked at it yet properly, but things like beacons, distress calls, so on and so forth are going to be a thing. They just need to address them first. Vehicles should be able to be stored inside cargo holds without sliding around. It is definitely something they will be looking at. They want to explore it and determine how it's going to work. Now, someone asked whether Drake will create its own refueling platform, a bit like what we see with the Starfarer. You say one day maybe, but not anytime soon. It may be worth just using it as an upgrade kit for the Caterpillar, so instead of having a completely new ship, you can buy an upgrade for your Caterpillar, which will allow you to refuel other ships. When is Chris Roberts back is the next question, and they say this weekend. He'll be back on Monday. Question after that is, anyone looking at farming yet? And nope, they're not. Is there an update on the ETA for the Jump Point hardcovers? You say kind of, it's getting tossed around with illegal. It's now with the printers, so a few weeks time and they will start shipping. Orgs 2.0 is the next question, and basically where it is, what's happening with it. They say it's part of a much larger rollout with new forums, new chat, so on and so forth. So there's no ETA yet, but it's going to be a big update when it does come. After that, they wanted to know if you could salvage turrets to the pilot command, so maybe a pilot taking control of the turrets. And they say absolutely in the pipeline, they just need more tech to do that. Dog tags will be shipping around July, they think. It's in production now. They're hoping for July, but we'll have to wait and see. And in terms of the hangar map room, which was promised as a stretch goal, they're tying it into the web work, but nothing as of yet has been announced, but that will be coming later on. And finally, in regards to the ATV fast forward, they say sometimes it's going to be exciting, sometimes it's not. It wasn't too exciting this week, but they say it's highlighting the continued work on moving animations, particularly in EVA, which is not finished yet. They are still refining it, and they'll still have stuff to show us. So it's a work in progress. Anyway, that was Reverse the Verse. Quite quick and to the point. Let me know your thoughts. So that brings us to the end of the show. Thank you for watching, and thank you to our subscribers. Plus, a massive thank you to our patrons as you make this possible. If you like what we do and want to help us make it better, follow the link in the description to our Patreon page to learn more.